Well, hi, I'm Dr. Betty Maloney. The CDC estimates that there is about 300,000 new cases of Lyme disease each year in the United States. But there are steps you can take to keep from being one of them. My friend Ann Muir will be coming by, and we're going to talk about personal prevention. I know we're talking about prevention today, but you have to tell me what you've got here.
This is Prevention Pete, and he's a little guy I like to show people kind of an example of what to do, how to prevent from being bit by a tick when you're out in tick habitat.
Oh wow, so tell me about what Pete's wearing.
Well, for one, Pete is pretty much covered from head to toe with clothing with his little skin exposed as possible, and what his clothing is treated with a chemical called Permethrin, which actually kills ticks. And as you see, Pete's pants are tucked in to his socks, and his shirt is tucked in so that the little buggers can't crawl in. And Pete's a little extreme, but he knows he's going to be out in the woods all day, but he's got duct tape around his openings of his shirt and around his pants there. Even his hat is treated.
So let's talk a little bit more about permethrin.
Okay.
Okay, so we know that a lot of people like to rely on repellents, and that is not going to get you to the prevention level that you want. And so you were talking about permethrin. Can you tell us how you use permethrin?
Well, these are all examples of permethrin, and they're all the same exact concentration. You can buy that at any sporting goods stores, and what you do with the permethrin is you treat your clothing and your shoes or your boots.
Now, can I have my clothing on?
No. Make sure your clothing's off, preferably like hanging on a clothesline or down on a tarp, and spray it thoroughly all over, and then you got to make sure it dries at least 2 hours before you put it on. But once it is dry, it doesn't transfer to your skin at all. When you treat clothing yourself, it can be washed 5 to 6 times safely, and it stays on. But they do sell at sporting goods stores. They sell and online clothing that is already treated with the permethrin, and the clothing that you buy treated is good up to 70 washings.
And so I was reading there's a service where you can actually send in your own article of clothing.
Yeah, for a very reasonable price. Then they actually treat the clothing that you send in, your favorite pair of jeans and top, and it's pretty reasonable, and then that is good for 70 washings as well.
Now, is there only one company doing that?
Yes, as far as I know right now.
Okay, then that company is what?
Insect Shield.
Insect Shield. You know, we don't really mean to promote any one company, but when there's only one out there, we do want people to have that information. Okay, and I want to vouch for the safety of permethrin. When people have scabies, they take a permethrin cream lotion and they have to put it on head to toe on day 1, and then 24 hours later they repeat it head to toe, and then on that 3rd day, so after 48 hours of continuous permethrin, they finally get to take a shower. And I haven't seen anyone drop dead of their scabies treatment, so I don't think we really have to worry about permethrin the way we're using it here.
Right. And head lice, I believe.
The lice is another one.
The permethrin, the reason you shouldn't spray your skin is not because it's dangerous, it's because it mixes with the oils and becomes ineffective.
There we go. But we still want people to follow labels.
Follow the directions carefully, definitely.
So we know that permethrin works because it actually kills the ticks. But we have that other class of chemicals called repellents. And so tell us a little bit about repellents, Ann, and how you like to use them.
Well, the repellents would be used for your skin or areas, and all the areas that are not covered by the clothing. And a good one is Permethrin, and that's becoming more readily available in sporting stores and throughout. And then another good backup is the DEET,
Right, right.
but 30% or higher is recommended of concentration.
Yes, and of course they work by, they don't kill the ticks.
No, they
but
just,
they just make,
repel them. And
exactly. I like the Permethrin products myself for a couple of reasons. First off, it doesn't stain your clothing. And the other thing is it won't hurt your gear. So I one time was out using binoculars in the field after using DEET, and when I got all done, I had black circles because the DEET had hurt the rubber of the
and
binoculars.
yeah, I've heard of DEET melting glasses too.
And both DEET and Permethrin do need to be reapplied. I mean,
Yes.
they're not and especially if you're sweating quite a bit or you've gone swimming, we need to think about reapplying them. I see you have some other things out here though, Ann.
Yeah, I guess these are a couple of ways that I think prevention, and it's cheap and it's easy, and just to make sure that within 2 hours after you've been out in a tick infested area, or that likely ticks are, that you go in and shower and just scrub briskly with one of these or a washcloth, and because ticks don't attach immediately, and then take your towel and rub vigorously to get any ticks off.
Excellent.
And that's a good, cheap, easy way.
Are we worried about lint here?
No.
So what do you do with that?
I think this is just, if you can't hop in right away to just get your shoes and your pants
Oh, clever.
for any ticks that happen to be just climbing.
Oh, that's a clever idea. Hats off to whoever came up with that. And then we have all these different appliances. What are they for?
These are actually tick removers.
Oh, different sorts, huh?
Yeah, all different kinds. And then these ones are just tweezers that we have at our home. Make sure they have a nice fine point. But it's real important, if you have a tick attached, to remove it properly using one of these tools, because if you grasp it, and you might get the bacterium right back into your bloodstream if you don't. Just get it off. And
Right. And I like to focus not so much on how we remove it, but that we remove it.
yes.
So, for instance, I don't want someone with an attached tick driving home 3 hours so they can get their special tick
their
remover.
tick remover,
Get
yes.
a tweezers, pull it out.
Yes, yeah.
Anything short of your teeth that you can use to take the tick out.
Yes.
And then what do you do once you remove a tick from your skin? Anything special that you have to do?
Well, I would definitely hang on to it.
Perfect.
Put
yeah.
it in a Ziploc baggie or a piece of cellophane tape so that it can't escape, and that if you need to bring that into your doctor to show them that it was a deer tick, that you have it.
Excellent. And the reason for bringing that tick to your doctors have been asked to want to make sure that they're dealing with a black-legged tick, because you're not going to get Lyme disease from the bites of other ticks. At least that's our current understanding. So that's the one important thing. And if you're going to bring a doctor a tick, it's nice if it ideally is in the baggie so they can manipulate it under a magnifying lens or even a microscope so they can really get a good look at it. Sometimes when people scotch tape things down to a surface, then if they put it on upside down, I'm kind of at a loss to work with it.
And maybe put a little piece of wet cotton ball in there just so it doesn't
dry
up and
Yeah.
disintegrate.
And then all you have to do where your tick bite was, nothing fancy, just soap and water. so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ann, I really appreciate you coming by.
Yes, thank you, thank you.